Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I feel slightly better. I just think it's just pure exhaustion from doing too much at the gym on Monday. And it does take time for it to pop up. And it's really hot in here. Whew. My legs don't hurt no more. I just feel weak. But I feel better than last night. Last night I'm not like that on my live. Okay, let's say the Lord's Prayer. Rotten Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Forgive those who trespass against us. Lead them not to temptation, but deliver them from evil. Amen. And God, please protect and bless this family. Bless this marriage of the Tannerites, the Yahweh family from YouTube. Make it stronger day by day and keep them together for eternity happily ever after. Amen. Come on. Here we go. The quads are aggravating me. Why can't they just go? I call you. Why can't they go the way we want? Paper. I need the paper I started yesterday. There you go. Okay. Hold on, let me get my water bottle. There we go. Hold on. Let me just see. Okay. All right, today's daily prayer is Psalms 51:12. I don't know if I wrote it wrong before. This might be the same one from yesterday. But here's the daily prayer itself. Lord, thank you for restoring the joy of my salvation, the joy that I experienced with pureness of heart in the beginning when I first believed. Oh, hi, Gemma. Hi, Pug Drool. Where's my other phone? I can, like, connect with the, chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gemma. Okay, now we'll go to the Bible app. And let's see. Proverb. No. Psalms 51:12. I probably went right past it. I always do. Yeah. Well, there we go. I read 50. I think. Oh, I didn't read it. That's right. Okay, Psalms 51, verse 12. 'Cause restore the joy of your salvation to me, and sustain me by giving me a willing spirit. Let me just outline everything so I can just hurry up and just read it. I'm still wondering if I've read the wrong passage yesterday. Okay, now I'll read the whole thing. Everybody ready to hear my voice? Okay. Psalms 51. A prayer for restoration. I'm just reading what it says here. For the choir director of Psalms of David, when the prophet Nathan came to him after he had gone to Bathsheba. Be gracious to me, God, according to your faithful love, according to your abundant compassion. Blot out my rebellion, completely wash away my guilt, and cleanse me from my sin. For I am conscious of my rebellion, and my sin is always before me. Against you, you alone, I have sinned, and done this evil in your sight. So you are right when you pass sentence. You are blameless when you judge. Indeed, I was guilty when I was born. I was sinful when my mother conceived me. Surely you desire integrity in the inner self, and you teach me wisdom deep within. Purify me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Turn your face away from my sins and blot out all my guilt. God created a clean heart for me and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not banish me from your presence or take away Holy Spirit from me. Restore the joy of your salvation to me and sustain me by giving me a willing spirit. Then I will teach the rebellion your ways, and sinners will return to you. Save me from the guilt of bloodshed, God of my salvation, and my tongue will sing of your righteousness. Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. You do not want a sacrifice, or I will give it. You are not pleased with a burnt offering. The sacrifice pleasing to God is a broken spirit. You will not despise a broken or humble heart, God. In your good pleasure, cause Zion to prosper. Build the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in righteousness. No, that's not the right word. Righteous sacrifices. Whole burnt offerings when bulls will be offered on your altar. How come every time I get one pill out, 3 or 4 come out? I gotta take this so I can drink my coffee. Hot burn. Okay. Now let's see what the verse of the day is. I usually write these down, but Proverbs 18:22. Is everybody, are you following along or are you just listening? Oh, I lost people. Good morning, Frankie. How are you? You gonna listen today? It's fine if you guys listen. It still goes into your brain. That's good. I'm feeling a little better. Okay. Because I think I lost, some people lost their connections. All right, so I'm reading Proverbs 18:22, and then I'll read the whole chapter. A man who finds a wife, finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Now let me just highlight it, because then when I, tell people, oh, I read the whole Bible, and I have proof. Okay. Stop it. Notification keeps coming down. Proverbs 18. One who isolates himself pursue selfish desires. He rebels against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in understanding, but only wants to show off his opinions. When a wicked person comes, contempt also comes, and along with dishonor and derision. The words of a person's mouth are deep waters, and flowing rivers, and fountain of wisdom. It is not good to show partiality. How come I don't know these words? This is why I have the app reading, but someone said I should read it. I don't. Partiality. That's what the word is. To the guilty, denying an innocent person's justice. A fool's lip lead to strife, and his mouth provokes a beating. A fool's mouth is his deviation, and his lips are a trap for his life. A gossip words are like choice food that goes down to one innermost being. The one who is lazy in his work is brother to a vandal. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are protected. The wealth of the rich is his fortified city. In the imagination, it is like a high wall. Before his downfall, a person's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. The one who gives an answer before he listens, this is foolishness and disgrace for him. A person's spirit can endure sickness, but who can survive a broken spirit? The mind of the discerning acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks it. A person's gifts open doors for him and brings him before the great. The first to state his case seems right until another comes and cross-examines him. Casting the lot ends quarrels and separates powerful opponents. An offended brother is harder to reach than to fortify city, and quarrels are like the bars of a fortress. From the fruit of a person's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is filled with the product of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor person pleads, but the rich one answers roughly. That's true. One with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend who stays closer than a brother. Oh, now we're going to be reading Numbers. We ended on, what, 16 it says? So we'll start off with 17. I don't know how long. Usually when I'm reading the whole book, I have the app read it. Is that okay with you, Frank? No, thank you. Frank, I thought you were, oh, I just took you off. Oh, boy. Sorry about that. I took you off moderator. Well, I put you back on. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, Numbers.
Chapter 17. The Lord instructed Moses, "Speak to the Israelites, and take one staff from them for each ancestral tribe, 12 staffs from all the leaders of their tribes. Write each man's name on his staff. Write Aaron's name on Levi's staff, because there is to be one staff for the head of each tribe. Then place them in the tent of meeting in front of the testimony where I meet with you. The staff of the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of the Israelites' complaints that they have been making about you."
Well, this is short.
So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and each of their leaders gave him a staff, one for each of the leaders of their tribes, 12 staffs in all. Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. The next day Moses entered the tent of the testimony, and saw that Aaron's staff, representing the house of Levi, had sprouted, formed buds, blossomed, and produced almonds. Moses then brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They saw them, and each man took his own staff. The Lord told Moses, "Put Aaron's staff back in front of the testimony, to be kept as a sign for the rebels, so that you may put an end to their complaints before me, or else they will die." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. Then the Israelites declared to Moses, Look, we're perishing. We're lost. We're all lost. Anyone who comes near the Lord's tabernacle will die. Will we all perish? Chapter 18. The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your ancestral family will be responsible for iniquity against the sanctuary. You and your sons will be responsible for iniquity involving your priesthood. But also bring your relatives with you from the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, so they may join you and assist you and your sons in front of the tent of the testimony. They are to perform duties for you and for the whole tent. They must not come near the sanctuary equipment or the altar. Otherwise, both they and you will die. They are to join you and guard the tent of meeting, doing all the work at the tent. But no unauthorized person may come near you. You are to guard the sanctuary and the altar, so that wrath may not fall on the Israelites again. Look, I have selected your fellow Levites from the Israelites as a gift for you, assigned by the Lord to work at the tent of meeting. But you and your sons will carry out your priestly responsibilities for everything concerning the altar, and for what is inside the curtain. And you will do that work. I am giving you the work of the priesthood as a gift, but an unauthorized person who comes near the sanctuary will be put to death." Then the Lord spoke to Aaron, "Look, I have put you in charge of the contributions brought to me. As for all the holy offerings of the Israelites, I have given them to you and your sons as a portion and a permanent statute. A portion of the holiest offerings kept from the fire will be yours. Every one of their offerings that they give me, whether the grain offering, sin offering, or guilt offering, will be most holy for you and your sons. You are to eat it as a most holy offering. Every male may eat it. It is to be holy to you. The contribution of their gifts also belongs to you. I have given all the Israelites' presentation offerings to you and to your sons and daughters as a permanent statute. Every ceremonially clean person in your house may eat it. I am giving you all the best of the fresh oil, new wine, and grain, which the Israelites give to the Lord as their first fruits. The first fruits of all that is in their land which they bring to the Lord belong to you. Every clean person in your house may eat them. Everything in Israel that is permanently dedicated to the Lord belongs to you. The firstborn of every living thing, human or animal, presented to the Lord belongs to you. But you must certainly redeem a human firstborn, and redeem the firstborn of an unclean animal. You will pay the redemption price for a month-old male according to your assessment, 5 shekels of silver by the standard sanctuary shekel, which is 20 gerahs. However, you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. You are to splatter their blood on the altar and burn their fat as a fire offering for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. But their meat belongs to you. It belongs to you like the breast of the presentation offering and the right thigh. I give to you and to your sons and daughters all the holy contributions that the Israelites present to the Lord as a permanent statute. It is a permanent covenant of salt before the Lord, for you as well as your offspring. The Lord told Aaron, "You will not have an inheritance in their land. There will be no portion among them for you. I am your portion and your inheritance among the Israelites. Look, I have given the Levites every tenth in Israel as an inheritance in return for the work they do, the work of the tent of meeting. The Israelites must never again come near the tent of meeting, or they will incur guilt and die. The Levites will do the work of the tent of meeting, and they will bear the consequences of their iniquity. The Levites will not receive an inheritance among the Israelites. This is a permanent statute throughout your generations. For I have given them the tenth that the Israelites present to the Lord as a contribution for their inheritance. That is why I told them that they would not receive an inheritance among the Israelites." The Lord instructed Moses, "Speak to the Levites and tell them, when you receive from the Israelites the tenth that I have given you as your inheritance, you are to present part of it as an offering to the Lord, a tenth of the tenth. Your offering will be credited to you as if it were your grain from the threshing floor, or the full harvest from the winepress. You are to present an offering to the Lord from every tenth you receive from the Israelites. Give some of it to the priest Aaron as an offering to the Lord. You must present the entire offering due the Lord from all your gifts. The best part of the tenth is to be consecrated." Tell them further, "Once you have presented the best part of the tenth, and it is credited to you Levites as the produce of the threshing floor or the winepress, then you and your household may eat it anywhere. It is your wage in return for your work at the tent of meeting. You will not incur guilt because of it, once you have presented the best part of it. But you must not defile the Israelites' holy offerings, so that you will not die." Chapter 19. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. "This is the legal statute that the Lord has commanded. Instruct the Israelites to bring you an unblemished red cow that has no defect and has never been yoked. Give it to the priest Eleazar, and he will have it brought outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. The priest Eleazar is to take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tent of meeting. The cow is to be burned in his sight. Its hide, flesh, and blood are to be burned along with its waste. The priest is to take cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson yarn and throw them onto the fire where the cow is burning. Then the priest must wash his clothes and bathe his body in water. After that he may enter the camp, but he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening. The one who burned the cow must also wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and he will remain unclean until evening. A man who is clean is to gather up the cow's ashes and deposit them outside the camp in a ceremonially clean place. The ashes will be kept by the Israelite community for preparing the water to remove impurity. It is a sin offering. Then the one who gathers up the cow's ashes must wash his clothes, and he will remain unclean until evening. This is a permanent statute for the Israelites and for the alien who resides among them. The person who touches any human corpse will be unclean for 7 days. He is to purify himself with the water on the 3rd day and the 7th day. Then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself on the 3rd and 7th days, he will not be clean. Anyone who touches a body of a person who has died and does not purify himself defiles the tabernacle of the Lord. That person will be cut off from Israel. He remains unclean because the water for impurity has not been sprinkled on him, and his uncleanness is still on him. This is the law when a person dies in a tent. Everyone who enters the tent and everyone who is already in the tent will be unclean for 7 days, and any open container without a lid tied on it is unclean. Anyone in the open field who touches a person who has been killed by the sword or has died, or who even touches a human bone or a grave, will be unclean for 7 days. For the purification of the unclean person, they are to take some of the ashes of the burnt sin offering, put them in a jar, and add fresh water to them. The person who is clean is to take hyssop, dip it in the water, and sprinkle the tent, all the furnishings, and the people who were there. He is also to sprinkle the one who touched a bone, a grave, a corpse, or a person who had been killed. The one who is clean is to sprinkle the unclean person on the 3rd day and the 7th day. After he purifies the unclean person on the 7th day, the one being purified must wash his clothes and bathe in water, and he will be clean by evening. But a person who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person will be cut off from the assembly, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water for impurity has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. This is a permanent statute for them. The person who sprinkles the water for impurity is to wash his clothes, and whoever touches the water for impurity will be unclean until evening. Anything the unclean person touches will become unclean, and anyone who touches it will be unclean until evening. Chapter 20. The entire Israelite community entered the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and they settled in Kadesh.
Okay.
Miriam died and was buried there. There was no water for the community, so they assembled against Moses and Aaron. The people quarreled with Moses and said, "If only we had perished when our brothers perished before the Lord. Why have you brought the Lord's assembly into this wilderness, for us and our livestock to die here? Why have you led us up from Egypt to bring us to this evil place? It's not a place of grain, figs, vines, and pomegranates, and there is no water to drink." Then Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the doorway of the tent of meeting. They fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Take the staff and assemble the community. You and your brother Aaron are to speak to the rock while they watch, and it will yield its water. You will bring out water for them from the rock, and provide drink for the community and their livestock." So Moses took the staff from the Lord's presence, just as he had commanded him. Moses and Aaron summoned the assembly in front of the rock, and Moses said to them, "Listen, you rebels. Must we bring water out of this rock for you?" Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with his staff, so that abundant water gushed out, and the community and their livestock drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust me to demonstrate my holiness in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this assembly into the land I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, where the Israelites quarreled with the Lord, and he demonstrated his holiness to them." Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "This is what your brother Israel says. You know all the hardships that have overtaken us. Our fathers went down to Egypt, and we lived in Egypt many years. But the Egyptians treated us and our fathers badly. When we cried out to the Lord, he heard our plea and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Now look, we are in Kadesh, a city on the border of your territory. Please let us travel through your land. We won't travel through any field or vineyard, or well water. We will travel the king's highway. We won't turn to the right or the left until we have traveled through your territory." But Edom answered him, "You will not travel through our land, or we will come out and confront you with the sword." "We will go on the main road," the Israelites replied to them. "And if we or our herds drink your water, we will pay its price. There will be no problem. Only let us travel through on foot." Yet Edom insisted, "You may not travel through." And they came out to confront them with a large force of heavily armed people. Edom refused to allow Israel to travel through their territory, and Israel turned away from them. After they set out from Kadesh, the entire Israelite community came to Mount Har. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron at Mount Har on the border of the land of Edom, "Aaron will be gathered to his people. He will not enter the land I have given the Israelites, because you both rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and his son Eleazar and bring them up Mount Har. Remove Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar. Aaron will be gathered to his people and die there." So Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they climbed Mount Har in the sight of the whole community. After Moses removed Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar, Aaron died there on top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When the whole community saw that Aaron had passed away, the entire house of Israel mourned for him 30 days.
Wow.
Chapter 21.
Oh, wait, this one's
When the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was coming on the Atharim road, he fought against Israel and captured some prisoners. Then Israel made a vow to the Lord, "If you will hand this people over to us, we will completely destroy their cities." The Lord listened to Israel's request and handed the Canaanites over to them. And Israel completely destroyed them and their cities. So they named the place Harmah. Then they set out from Mount Har by way of the Red Sea to bypass the land of Edom. But the people became impatient because of the journey. The people spoke against God and Moses. "Why have you led us up from Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no bread or water, and we detest this wretched food." Then the Lord sent poisonous snakes among the people, and they bit them, so that many Israelites died. The people then came to Moses and said, "We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Intercede with the Lord, so that he will take the snakes away from us." And Moses interceded for the people. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake image and mount it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks at it, he will recover." So Moses made a bronze snake and mounted it on a pole. Whenever someone was bitten and he looked at the bronze snake, he recovered. The Israelites set out and camped at Oboth. They set out from Oboth and camped at Abarim in the wilderness that borders Moab on the east. From there they went and camped at Zered Valley. They set out from there and camped on the other side of the Arnon River, in the wilderness that extends from the Amorite border, because the Arnon was the Moabite border between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it was stated in the book of the Lord's wars, "Waheb and Supha, and the ravines of the Arnon, even the slopes of the ravines that extend to the site of Ar, and lie along the border of Moab." From there they went to Beer, the well the Lord told Moses about, "Gather the people, so I may give them water." Then Israel sang this song, "Spring up well, sing to it. The princes dug the well, the nobles of the people hollowed it out, with a scepter and with their staffs. They went from the wilderness to Matnah, from Matnah to Nahaliel, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, from Bamoth to the valley in the territory of Moab, near the Pisgah highlands, that overlook the wasteland. Israel sent messengers to say to King Sihon of the Amorites, "Let us travel through your land. We won't go into the fields or vineyards. We won't drink any well water. We will travel the king's highway until we have traveled through your territory." But Sihon would not let Israel travel through his territory. Instead, he gathered his whole army and went out to confront Israel in the wilderness. When he came to Jahaz, he fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only up to the Ammonite border, because it was fortified. Israel took all the cities and lived in all these Amorite cities, including Heshbon and all its surrounding villages. Heshbon was the city of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken control of all his land as far as the Arnon. Therefore the poets say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be rebuilt. Let the city of Sihon be restored. For fire came out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the citizens of Arnon's heights. Woe to you, Moab! You have been destroyed, people of Chemosh. He gave up his sons as refugees, and his daughters into captivity to Sihon the Amorite king. He threw them down. Heshbon has been destroyed as far as Dibon. We caused desolation as far as Nophah, which reaches as far as Medeba." So Israel lived in the Amorites' land. After Moses sent spies to Jazer, Israel captured its surrounding villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up the road to Bashan, and King Og of Bashan came out against them with his whole army to do battle at Edrei. But the Lord said to Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have handed him over to you, along with his whole army and his land. Do to him as you did to King Sihon of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon." So they struck him, his sons, and his whole army, until no one was left, and they took possession of his land. Chapter 22. The Israelites traveled on and camped in the plains of Moab near the Jordan, across from Jericho. Now Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. Moab was terrified of the people, because they were numerous, and Moab dreaded the Israelites. So the Moabites said to the elders of Midian, "This horde will devour everything around us, like an ox eats up the green plants in the field." Since Balak, son of Zippor, was Moab's king at that time, he sent messengers to Balaam, son of Beor, at Pethor, which is by the Euphrates, in the land of his people. Balak said to him, "Look, a people has come out of Egypt. They cover the surface of the land, and are living right across from me. Please come and put a curse on these people for me, because they are more powerful than I am. I may be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that those you bless are blessed, and those you curse are cursed." The elders of Moab and Midian departed with fees for divination in hand. They came to Balaam and reported Balak's words to him. He said to them, "Spend the night here, and I will give you the answer the Lord tells me." So the officials of Moab stayed with Balaam. Then God came to Balaam and asked, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam replied to God, "Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent this message to me. Look, a people has come out of Egypt, and they cover the surface of the land. Now come and put a curse on them for me. I may be able to fight against them and drive them away." Then God said to Balaam, "You are not to go with them. You are not to curse this people, for they are blessed." So Balaam got up the next morning and said to Balak's officials, "Go back to your land, because the Lord has refused to let me go with you." The officials of Moab arose, returned to Balak, and reported, "Balaam refused to come with us." Balak sent officials again who were more numerous and higher in rank than the others. They came to Balaam and said to him, "This is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Let nothing keep you from coming to me, for I will greatly honor you and do whatever you ask me. So please come and put a curse on these people for me." But Balaam responded to the servants of Balak, "If Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not go against the command of the Lord my God to do anything, small or great. Please stay here overnight as the others did, so that I may find out what else the Lord has to tell me." God came to Balaam at night and said to him, "Since these men have come to summon you, get up and go with them, but you must only do what I tell you." When he got up in the morning, Balaam saddled his donkey and went with the officials of Moab. But God was incensed that Balaam was going, and the angel of the Lord took his stand on the path to oppose him. Balaam was riding his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing on the path with a drawn sword in his hand, she turned off the path and went into the field. So Balaam hit her to return her to the path. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow passage between the vineyards, with a stone wall on either side. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord and pressed herself against the wall, squeezing Balaam's foot against it. So he hit her once again. The angel of the Lord went ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn to the right or the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she crouched down under Balaam. So he became furious and beat the donkey with his stick. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and she asked Balaam, "What have I done to you that you have beaten me these 3 times?" Balaam answered the donkey, "You made me look like a fool. If I had a sword in my hand, I'd kill you now." But the donkey said, "Am I not the donkey you've ridden all your life until today? Have I ever treated you this way before?" "No," he replied. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the path with a drawn sword in his hand. Balaam knelt low and bowed in worship on his face. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? Look, I came out to oppose you, because I consider what you are doing to be evil. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If she had not turned away from me, I would have killed you by now and let her live." Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned, for I did not know that you were standing in the path to confront me. And now, if it is evil in your sight, I will go back." Then the angel of the Lord said to Balaam, "Go with the men, but you are to say only what I tell you." So Balaam went with Balak's officials. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the Moabite city on the Arnon border, at the edge of his territory. Balak asked Balaam, "Did I not send you an urgent summons? Why didn't you come to me? Am I really not able to reward you?" Balaam said to him, "Look, I have come to you, but can I say anything I want? I must speak only the message God puts in my mouth." So Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath-Huzoth. Balak sacrificed cattle, sheep, and goats, and sent for Balaam and the officials who were with him. In the morning, Balak took Balaam and brought him to Bamoth Baal. From there, he saw the outskirts of the people's camp. Chapter 23.
That is weird.
Then Balaam said to Balak,
You sure?
"Build me 7 altars here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me." So Balak did as Balaam directed, and they offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, "Stay here by your burnt offering while I am gone. Maybe the Lord will meet with me. I will tell you whatever he reveals to me." So he went to a barren hill. God met with him, and Balaam said to him, "I have arranged 7 altars and offered a bull and a ram on each altar." Then the Lord put a message in Balaam's mouth and said, "Return to Balak and say what I tell you." So he returned to Balak, who was standing there by his burnt offering with all the officials of Moab. Balaam proclaimed his poem. "Balak brought me from Aram, the king of Moab, from the eastern mountains. Curse on Jacob for me. Come, denounce Israel. How can I curse someone God has not cursed? How can I denounce someone the Lord has not denounced? I see them from the top of rocky cliffs, and I watch them from the hills. There is a people living alone. It does not consider itself among the nations. Who has counted the dust of Jacob, or numbered even 1/4 of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright. Let the end of my life be like theirs." "What have you done to me?" Balak asked Balaam. "I brought you to curse my enemies, but look, you have only blessed them." He answered, "Shouldn't I say exactly what the Lord puts in my mouth?" Then Balak said to him, "Please come with me to another place where you can see them. You will only see the outskirts of their camp. You won't see all of them. From there, put a curse on them for me." So Balak took him to Lookout Field on top of Pisgah, built 7 altars, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, "Stay here by your burnt offering while I seek the Lord over there." The Lord met with Balaam and put a message in his mouth. Then he said, "Return to Balak and say what I tell you." So he returned to Balak, who was standing there by his burnt offering with the officials of Moab. Balak asked him, "What did the Lord say?" Balaam proclaimed his poem. "Balak, get up and listen. Son of Zippor, pay attention to what I say. God is not a man that he might lie, or a son of man that he might change his mind. Does he speak and not act, or promise and not fulfill? I have indeed received a command to bless. Since he has blessed, I cannot change it. He considers no disaster for Jacob. He sees no trouble for Israel. The Lord their God is with them, and there is rejoicing over the king among them. God brought them out of Egypt. He is like the horns of a wild ox for them. There is no magic curse against Jacob, and no divination against Israel. It will now be said about Jacob and Israel, what great things God has done. A people rise up like a lioness. They rouse themselves like a lion. They will not lie down until they devour the prey and drink the blood of the slain. Then Balak told Balaam, don't curse them and don't bless them. But Balaam answered him, didn't I tell you, whatever the Lord says, I must do? Again Balak said to Balaam, please come. I will take you to another place. Maybe it will be agreeable to God that you can put a curse on them for me there. So Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, which overlooks the wasteland. Balaam told Balak, build me 7 altars here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me.
Nasal spray.
So Balak did as Balaam said, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Chapter 24. Since Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he did not go to seek omens as on previous occasions, but turned toward the wilderness. When Balaam looked up and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came on him, and he proclaimed his poem, the oracle of Balaam, son of Beor, the oracle of the man whose eyes are opened, the oracle of one who hears the sayings of God, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls into a trance with his eyes uncovered. How beautiful are your tents, Jacob, your dwellings, Israel. They stretch out like river valleys, like gardens beside a stream. Like aloes the Lord has planted, like cedars beside the water. Water will flow from his buckets, and his seed...
Well, it's sort of like Flonase. It's prescription strength, I guess. And I take that with Claritin. Prescription. This is like Claritin. It's Loratadine. I don't know. Then this one is fluticasone. Don't ask me. Oh boy. Okay.
will be by abundant water. His king will be greater than Agag, and his kingdom will be exalted. God brought him out of Egypt. He is like the horns of a wild ox for them. He will feed on enemy nations and gnaw their bones. He will strike them with his arrows. He crouches. He lies down like a lion or a lioness. Who dares to rouse him? Those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed. Then Balak became furious with Balaam, struck his hands together, and said to him, I summoned you to put a curse on my enemies, but instead you have blessed them these 3 times. Now go to your home. I said I would reward you richly, but look, the Lord has denied you a reward. Balaam...
Hey, Angel. Are you new here? If so, every morning I do devotions. I read a couple chapters myself, and then I read 10 chapters from the Bible. And now today we're on number 24. We're reading 17 through 26.
Answered Balak, didn't I previously tell the messengers you sent me? If Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not go against the Lord's command to do anything good or bad of my own will. I will say whatever the Lord says. Now I am going back to my people. But first, let me warn you what these people will do to your people in the future. Then he proclaimed his poem. The oracle of Balaam, son of Beor, the oracle of the man whose eyes are opened, the oracle of one who hears the sayings of God and has knowledge from the Most High, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls into a trance with his eyes uncovered. I see him, but not now. I perceive him, but not near. A star will come from Jacob, and a scepter will arise from Israel. He will smash the forehead of Moab and strike down all the Shephites. Edom will become a possession. Seir will become a possession of its enemies, but Israel will be triumphant. One who comes from Jacob will rule. He will destroy the city's survivors. Then Balaam saw Amalek and proclaimed his poem. Amalek was first among the nations, but his future is destruction. Next he saw the Kenites and proclaimed his poem. Your dwelling place is enduring. Your nest is set in the cliffs. Cain will be destroyed when Asher takes you captive. Once more he proclaimed his poem. Ah, who can live when God does this? Ships will come from the coast of Kittim. They will carry out raids against Asher and Eber, but they too will come to destruction. Balaam then arose and went back to his homeland, and Balak also went his way. Chapter 25. While Israel was staying in the acacia grove, the people began to prostitute themselves with the women of Moab. The women invited them to the sacrifices for their gods, and the people ate and bowed in worship to their gods. So Israel aligned itself with Baal of Peor, and the Lord's anger burned against Israel. The Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of the people and execute them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that his burning anger may turn away from Israel." So Moses told Israel's judges, "Kill each of the men who aligned themselves with Baal of Peor." An Israelite man came bringing a Midianite woman to his relatives in the sight of Moses and the whole Israelite community while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw this, he got up from the assembly, took a spear in his hand, followed the Israelite man into the tent, and drove it through both the Israelite man and the woman, through her belly. Then the plague on the Israelites was stopped, but those who died in the plague numbered 24,000. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned back my wrath from the Israelites, because he was zealous among them with my zeal, so that I did not destroy the Israelites in my zeal. Therefore declare, I grant him my covenant of peace. It will be a covenant of perpetual priesthood for him and his future descendants, because he was zealous for his God and made atonement for the Israelites." The name of the slain Israelite man who was struck dead with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, the leader of a Simeonite family. The name of the slain Midianite woman was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur, a tribal head of a family of Midian. The Lord told Moses, "Attack the Midianites and strike them dead, for they attacked you with the treachery that they used against you in the Peor incident." They did the same in the case involving their sister Cosbi, daughter of the Midianite leader who was killed the day the plague came at Peor. Chapter 26. After the plague, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, "Take a census of the entire Israelite community by their ancestral families of those 20 years old or more who can serve in Israel's army." So Moses and the priest Eleazar said to them in the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, "Take a census of those 20 years old or more,
welcome back,
as
Frank.
the Lord had commanded Moses and the Israelites who came out of the land of Egypt." Reuben was the firstborn of Israel. Reuben's descendants: the Hanokite clan from Hanok, the Paluite clan from Palu, the Hezronite clan from Hezron, the Carmite clan from Carmi. These were the Reubenite clans, and their registered men numbered 43,730. The son of Palu was Eliab. The sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. It was Dathan and Abiram chosen by the community who fought against
Hey,
Moses and Aaron.
Melody.
They and Korah's followers fought against the Lord. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them with Korah, when his followers died and the fire consumed 250 men. They serve as a warning sign. The sons of Korah, however, did not die. Simeon's descendants by their clans. The Nemuelite clan from Nemuel. The Jaminite clan from Jamin. The Jachinite clan from Jachin. The Zerahite clan from Zerah. The Shaulite clan from Shaul. These were the Simeonite clans, numbering 22,200 men. Gad's descendants by their clans. The Zephonite clan from Zephon. The Haggite clan from Haggai. The Shunite clan from Shunai. The Oznite clan from Ozni. The Erite clan from Eri. The Aradite clan from Arad. The Arelite clan from Areli. These were the Gadite clans numbered by their registered men, 40,500. Judah's sons included and Onan, but they died in the land of Canaan. Judah's descendants by their clans. The Shilonite clan from Shelah. The Perezite clan from Perez. The Zerahite clan from Zerah. The descendants of Perez. The Hezronite clan from Hezron. The Hamelite clan from Hamel. These were Judah's clans numbered by their registered men, 76,500. Issachar's descendants by their clans. The Tolaite clan from Tola. The Punite clan from Puvah. The Jashabite clan from Jashub. The Shimronite clan from Shimron. These were Issachar's clans numbered by their registered men, 64,300. Zebulun's descendants by their clans. The Seredite clan from Sered. The Elonite clan from Elon. The Jalielite clan from Jaliel. These were the Zebulunite clans numbered by their registered men, 60,500. Joseph's descendants by their clans from Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh's descendants. The Machirite clan from Machir. Machir fathered Gilead. The Gileadite clan from Gilead. These were Gilead's descendants. The Iezerite clan from Iezer. The Helekite clan from Helek. The Asrielite clan from Asriel.
Ask away.
The Shechemite clan from Shechem. The Shemitaite clan from Shemita.
Oh my God.
The Heferite clan from Hefer. Zelophehad, son of Hefer, had no sons, only daughters. The names of Zelophehad's daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were Manasseh's clans numbered by their registered men, 52,700. These were Ephraim's descendants by their clans. The Shuthalahite clan from Shuthalah. The Becherite clan from Becher. The Tahanite clan from Tahan. These were Shethalah's descendants. The Elonite clan from Eran. These were the Ephraimite clans numbered by their registered men, 32,500. These were Joseph's descendants by their clans. Benjamin's descendants by their clans. The Belahite clan from Bela. The Ashbelite clan from Ashbel. The Ahiramite clan from Ahiram. The Shuphamite clan from Shupham. The Huphamite clan from Hupham. Bela's descendants from Ard and Naaman. The Ardite clan from Ard. The Naamite clan from Naaman. These were the Benjaminite clans numbered by their registered men, 45,600. These were Dan's descendants by their clans. The Shuhamite clan from Shuham. These were the clans of Dan by their clans. All the Shuhamite clans numbered by their registered men, 64,400. Asher's descendants by their clans. The Imnite clan from Imnah. The Ishvite clan from Ishvi.
Oh, yeah, she can.
The Bariahite clan from Bariah. From Bariah's descendants. The Heberite clan from Heber. The Malchielite clan from Malchiel. And the name of Asher's daughter was Serah. These were the Asherite clans, numbered by their registered men, 53,400. Naphtali's descendants by their clans. The Jazielite clan from Jaziel. The Gunite clan from Guni. The Jezerite clan from Jezer. The Shilemite clan from Shilem. These were the Naphthalite clans numbered by their registered men, 45,400. These registered Israelite men numbered 601,730. The Lord spoke to Moses. The land is to be divided among them as an inheritance based on the number of names. Increase the inheritance for a large tribe and decrease it for a small one. Each is to be given its inheritance according to those who are registered in it. The land is to be divided by lot. They will receive an inheritance according to the names of their ancestral tribes. Each inheritance will be divided by lot among the larger and smaller tribes. These were the Levites registered by their clans. The Gershonite clan from Gershon. The Kohathite clan from Kohath. The Merarite clan from Merari. These were the Levite family groups. The Libnite clan. The Hebronite clan. The Malite clan. The Mushite clan. And the Karahite clan. Kohath was the ancestor of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, a descendant of Levi, born to Levi in Egypt. She bore to Amram, Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar were born to Aaron. But Nadab and Abihu died when they presented unauthorized fire before the Lord. Those registered were 23,000, every male 1 month old or more. They were not registered among the other Israelites, because no inheritance was given to them among the Israelites. These were the ones registered by Moses and the priest Eleazar when they registered the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho. But among them there was not one of those who had been registered by Moses and the priest Aaron when they registered the Israelites in the wilderness of Sinai. For the Lord had said to them that they would all die in the wilderness. None of them was left except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Chapter 20.
Done. We are done. Now I'll take one to leave with it. With my algae pill, I usually take one Aleve or one Advil, whatever. It helps it. I take coffee with it. Yeah, Angel's Melody, just get back to me. I'll be back soon to do a regular chat. Like an art chat and stuff like that. Oh, thank you. Maybe someday I'll stop reading. Oh, I can't read all 10 chapters. My eyes will go. I can't make my eyes go cross-eyed. Some people can. I can't see out of this one. That's why it goes to the right. But I can control it. When I was little, I couldn't control it. It was going like this. And they scheduled the surgery. And then we went in for the surgery. I don't want to do it. Because she'll be in here every 2 years to get the same surgery. My great niece had to have it done. Both eyes were like this. So. No, one was like here. I'm like, okay, guys, I am gonna go for a little bit, not long at all, and then we'll do a regular chat. So everybody is welcome to come back for regular chat. I want to get dressed. I'm already cleaned up for the day. I did my chores that I was supposed to do last night. I didn't do it last night because I was not feeling good. So that's what happens when you overdo it at a gym. So Angel's Melody, I'm not abandoning you. I will be back, so you can come back when I do the chat. Okay, Angel's Melody. And Queenie, if you want, you can come back for the chat. I just want to get dressed. And I try to keep, when it says devotion, strictly to devotion. So I will be back within a couple minutes, probably. because I'm not even hungry for breakfast yet. By the time I'm hungry for breakfast, it'll be lunchtime, so I'll just wait for lunch. Okay, everybody. Peace.